Thought about doing a filter, but I'm not going to do that. So we made it to our destination in the Gulf Shores, and that's not why I'm making this video. I seen a video where a black man was speaking on his experiences with trauma, and he was just basically just pouring his heart out. And in the comments, a lot of the conversation was surrounding like deflection. It was really just deflecting away from his message, and I thought that was very unfortunate because it's not often that men are ever allowed to be vulnerable, especially black men. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the divide between black men and black women. I was telling the person who actually posted the story, I was sharing my thoughts of him, and I was like, I think what's missing in our community as black people is understanding. I think that if we as black people had more understanding with each other, then a lot of things could be resolved. So for example, a lot of times black men don't feel heard. They don't feel like their perspective is valued. They feel like oftentimes when they speak on how they feel, it's dismissed or they're forced to man up. Instead of us as black women, deflecting away from what he's saying, let's try taking a second to just acknowledge what he's saying. So instead of saying, go to therapy, we all know that therapy can be helpful. Listen. And then black men, understanding the plight of black women and understanding that there's a lot of trauma that we've dealt with. Don't deflect from that. And instead of labeling black women as an angry black woman, maybe just understand the weight on her shoulders, understand historically why we feel the way that we feel, why we're tired. Because at the end of the day, black men and black women, we're not each other's enemies. I know that white supremacy has tried to turn us against each other, and that's really what the agenda is about. The original plan or the original intention of Willie Lynch and other racist implementation was to divide the black family. So since we know that we are being divided, or that this energy is still dividing us, since we can acknowledge that, let's try to be more understanding of each other. Let's stop all this going back and forth about who's had it worst, because I think that understanding the other person is a key in healing together. As black people, we should be able to hold ourselves accountable and to hold each other accountable without being labeled simps, without being labeled pick-me's and all this other stuff that the media has come out with in order to keep us more divided. We should take more accountability for why things are the way they are. Now, granted, we know white supremacy has had a major hand in why we're so divided. But now that we know that, what are we going to do about it? So that's why I said we need to be more understanding with each other. We need to be less judgmental towards one another. And that's the only point that I'm making. So let me know your thoughts on this.